Hey guys, welcome. This is a special edition of the Funky Marketing Podcast. We decided to do something a little bit different. So far, it's been me and the guests. Today, we still have the guests. It's people from my team. Today, we have Linda here, and we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a Q&A. We have some questions that we gather from the rest of the team, from the people outside of the team, from some clients. So we're gonna go through them, and I'm gonna answer some of them. Linda is gonna join me if she wants to. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, Linda, you're getting a lot of compliments here. Like, Linda, you are gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have some questions here. What do you think? Should we start with the questions regarding starting a new business?
Yeah, let's start from the very beginning. Like, Linda structured the questions into a few pillars, so we're gonna go and jump into one by one.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the first ones. It goes like this. What does it take to run an agency? What has been the most challenging when starting the agency?
That's always an interesting question because it's not the same if you are starting the agency, I don't know, in the US, in the Europe, in Serbia, or somewhere in Africa or Asia. It's always depends on the country, on the economics, on the legal system over there. But let's try to get away from that paperwork things and those other stuff. But the most challenging thing was actually the way we're gonna do it. Because when starting the agency, I didn't know actually if we're gonna go into B2C, into B2B, or what we're going to do. I didn't have any ideas about B2B and about what we're doing now. But we jump into the market. We have seen that there is a gap in B2B industry, the gap that needs to be filled. So we jumped in, and it became our vision and our mission to kind of change the industry. And it's always interesting when you are starting. It wasn't like my idea to start a business. It just happened. I think it happens when you are ready. So it was kind of an interesting one because I jumped into it. I left the job as director of operations in the agency where I worked at. In the middle of preparation for my wedding, without any money on the side, without anything. So I started the agency without some budget on the side that I'm gonna invest in next 3 months and I'm gonna go. But I had this mindset of I'm gonna build something that I'm gonna work on for the rest of my life. So I don't want to rush, and it's implemented a lot of decisions. Like, from the start, I started with one other guy, with a friend of mine, and he stopped being involved after a month or two because it wasn't. He wanted to do some things faster and to get to the results faster, but I wanted to do it slower and to kind of build up the things the way it needs to be built if you are building long term. So those were kind of the struggles when we started.
Mm-hmm. And what about paperwork or defining the services or starting your first promotion? How did you deal with that?
Closing the first client was something that just came out of because I already had the build personal brand. I already had one in Serbia, but I had it. So when I announced that I'm leaving the agency where I was working, that I'm starting Funky Marketing, people started getting into the conversations with me, and we created a landing page with a huge 32 or 34 pages document on the strategy. So that was kind of the start. Somebody downloaded the document on the first day or the first night when we announced it, and the next day we got our first client. So it was simple for us because we were already present over there. People were following my journey and everything, and some of them just waited for the opportunity to work with me. And when I announced that we are going with Funky Marketing, that we can start doing that, they just said, okay, we are in.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And how do you organize your everyday life to find some balance between different projects and different clients?
It's kind of interesting because I don't. Yeah, when you are an entrepreneur, like your whole family is running a business with you. So this is the fact, and something that affects the whole family. Like now, I don't have here like big of a family, just me and my wife, but still, like she can tell you the way I get distracted or when I get the new tool or something like that. She's playing the games and I'm playing with the tool, you know. So, um, but yeah, it's good that you have somebody who can like support you and guide you through those stuff. But yeah, I don't look as the work-life balance as something that exists. You know, it's all the same thing. Like, what do I mean by that? And I'm not a fan of the hustle culture, but you know, you meet some people on the way to work, on the work, people that you are spending with like at least 8 hours per day, so they are part of your life. It's not like work and life stops when you start working. You know, it's still life and it affects the rest of your life a lot. That's why we are saying like you should do what you love if you can, because it affects what you are doing, your life and everything. And that's why I think I'm trying to build something that affects my life in a better way, because like the rest of my life affects the work. It's not like the work affects the rest of my life, you know. So that's how we should see it. And that's why I want also you and the other guys from the team to do something outside of the work. So you know, that's why I'm asking you, what kind of music do you listen? Do you go for a walk? Do you do something else outside of the work? Because doing these things will make you better at your work, you know, when you are happy outside of the work.
Sure, definitely. You need to spend some time outside your own
Yeah,
bubble.
like going to the beach in Spain or just here on the river in Serbia. Yeah.
Go for a walk or something that cleans your mind somehow. So, next question. What's the most challenging activity within the business world you've dealt with so far?
I think the most challenging one is like always what to do next. I don't
Hmm.
know, because you never know it. And I start the week and I don't know what's going to happen. We are building the foundation, and then at one moment it just happens. Like 3 clients come in 3 days, or you know, or somebody leaves, or you know, and when the 3 clients are coming, you need to like extend the team. You need to always have that in mind, and it's always thinking, always optimizing, always adjusting. So that's the biggest challenge is kind of getting into that mindset that you are ready for whatever. I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's kind of the biggest challenge, I think. Not the actual work, but actually building the company to be ready for whatever comes next.
Hmm. Okay. How does empathy help you overcome not so much smooth situations with clients?
um, Helps a lot. I mean, this is what we are doing actually, and empathy is in the basics of everything that we do, and not only in situation with clients. I mean, we are trying to change and make people express more empathy and more compassion also that follows the empathy. So not only like um, getting into people's shoes, but also wearing the shoes, you know. So when we are doing that and thinking like that, it's kind of easy to get through all those kind of things, because we are not pretending that we are somebody else. Not me, not all of you from the team. We are trying to be who we are, and that's why I'm like posting video of me dancing, or like you're posting some things that are related to other stuff that you're doing, like the wine promotion thing or something else. So this is who we are, you know, and that's why like we are creating videos, not to show like the expertise inside the videos, but that people can actually get to know us, the way we talk, the way we smile, the personality and everything, because it's easier. We are all humans, and if we just go like and talk all these straight business things, it's not personal. And when it's not personal, it's not long term. So this is kind of the way I see it.
Nice. Cool. That's the attitude, I think.
So those are some nice questions that I don't get asked often.
So it was good to know that human part, no?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's go with ads 101. How do you decide on the type of advertising you are going to run in terms of social media channels, the period of time, the budget you're going to spend, and the statistics you want to measure?
That's kind of those advertising questions are always interesting because the answer is always it depends. It depends on a client. It depends on the industry. It depends on a budget that you have. So it's kind of interesting. But let me try to give an answer that might be useful to the people. So basically, before you get into the advertising, you need to know what you want to do as a business. So it's more of a business question than it is advertising question. If you know what your goal is, uh, if you know like first where you want to go, then what your goal is, then how you want to get there, then what's the budget. I mean, first the budget, then how you want to get there. So that's how you set up the everything, and then inside that budget you see what you want to do and how you can get there. Linda, make sure we go also through these questions that we are getting at the end.
Question here.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I see it. Also, it depends on a thing that we on a question that we get asked, like the ideal client, and it all depends which platforms are they using, where they are. Like if we are in B2B, usually people are on LinkedIn, but when we start talking with the companies, they usually they are familiar that LinkedIn is like the platform that is getting the attention right now. Okay, but they don't realize that it's organic. It's not the advertising, and so they would like to go to the advertising part, but when they hear the prices, then they say maybe not. But I mean, LinkedIn is okay for getting deep into targeting and getting like account-based marketing and specific things when we are talking to the narrow niche, the narrow target group. On the other hand, like Facebook, Instagram are great platforms for like distributing the content, and they are not sales first platforms. And a lot of people don't realize that, but they can use it to amplify the content distribution. And on the other hand, we have PPC, which is like targeting the people that already have the buying intent. So they are searching for, I don't know, for the product or the service for the solution for their problems, and kind of getting there. So and let's answer the question while we are here in the space. We got a question. What was it, Linda? Can you describe your ideal client? So our ideal clients are fast-growing B2B companies, software-based companies, mostly based in the US. So those can be companies which are like from 10 to 50 people, but those can be also the companies that grew very fast to like 700 plus people. So we are in both spaces. We started with those that have like up to 20 people, then we extended to 70 people, and now we are working with both companies, but all of them are fast-growing software-based B2B companies. So this is kind of our space. A lot of them are getting like the seed B investment or the seed A investment. So they are not right at the start, but they are on the next point. So in a way, how do I see it? They have like 10 inbound leads, out of which they are closing like 3. So this is where we come up. We see who are those three, why they are converting, how they are different from the others. We take that part and then we put a fire on it and just help them accelerate the growth.
Nice. So cheers from Nepal says here. Cheers from Spain and Serbia. Next question we have here in the chat. How do you map out your content marketing strategy? Where do you start?
I won't get into that. Maybe we can add later the whole article that we have on it. Sujan will respond to you with a link. It's better. So we'll go from there. Let's continue. What are the questions that we have next?
Okay. Next question. What's the most interesting campaign you've ever run and why?
Oh, that's an interesting one. Most of them are B2C, probably, but there were all kind of interesting ones. Let me see. What can I talk about? Because there are some of them that I cannot talk about. Yeah, but there was one which was really interesting, and it was for when I was working in different agencies. So as their employee, as director of operations over there. So it was the campaign for the brand called Curaprox, which is one of the most famous brands when it comes to the toothbrushes and toothpaste and those kind of things. And we did a lead generation campaign to help them gather leads, but not only to gather like MQLs, but to also qualify them. And it was kind of we will kind of a giveaway. We were giving, I don't know, like 20 toothbrushes and some toothpaste, something like that. And the conditions of entering the giveaway was to answer a few questions. One was like, where did they heard about the brand? Like, what is their favorite product? And like, there was one that was specifically interesting, and it is like, what would happen if the brand stopped existing tomorrow? Okay, so for that we got all kind of answers. We got poems, we got people writing, I don't know, super nice things, because it's a brand that people use daily and they are really attached to it. So in that way, they get emotional, and we got some really good answers. And just based on that, and based on like comparing the answers, see what pops up. Basically, we had the content for the social media for the whole year, just based on that giveaway. And I think we got like 11,000 leads, qualified leads out of that campaign. And what was interesting, because like there are some toothbrushes that are specifically for the people who have like gaps beneath the teeth, interdental ones. So we couldn't just ask people, do they have some spaces between teeth, right? So we needed to do something else. So we asked them if they are using toothsticks. And if they are, then we know what is the product that they need. So those kind of things are always good to be added there. But a lot of interactions, a lot of emotions connected to this campaign. So that's why it was one of my favorite ones.
Oh, nice. And what do results tell you regarding paid advertising and its potential?
Can you repeat that again?
What do results of the campaigns tell you regarding paid advertising and the potential it has?
You mean the results? Okay, so you mean by what can we predict that's going to happen based on how the ads are performing overall, like in general?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think Facebook still remains the number one channel, and the platform that is very much underestimated, and that can bring so much. I think it will remain that way. If you want immediate results, PPC and Google are still the first place to go. And if you want to do the narrow targeting, I think LinkedIn is the best way to go. So I don't think anything is going away. Not even the like news advertising or paper or those kind of things, print media. Well, maybe print media now when we have COVID and everything, yes, in a way, but it's just depending on how much time and how much budget you have. That's how you determine what you want to do.
Definitely. We have another question in the chat. In the future, how do you think that the best skills will work more? What do you mean, Safwat?
I don't get the question.
Me neither. Can you formulate it, please?
Yeah, maybe guys, you can like formulate it a little bit different. So yeah.
We have another question. How do you deal with setbacks when your marketing campaign does not go your way?
I mean, it doesn't happen. Why it doesn't happen? Because right from the start, we use 20 or 30% of the budget, maybe even 50% sometimes, to test things out in the first like few days. So we test the copy, we test the visuals, we test or the video, we test the landing page, we test if the I don't know if you have the email sequence after that, if it's working. So we check everything, and we use that budget to kind of test it out and optimize. And then when we run it, it doesn't stop. It just goes. And when you are in that for a while, then you basically know things, because you have experience, you have seen how things are working, and you can adjust things even before you start. So yeah, that's the answer.
Nice. Next question. How do you organize a LinkedIn campaign, ads campaign?
I would skip this one because I don't. It's too general. How do we organize a LinkedIn ads campaign? I mean, this is how we start any campaign. So we kind of talked about it answering the previous question. So yeah, I wouldn't go into that.
Okay, so let's go with another batch of questions. What type of graphic support do you think it's important to use in social media, and why?
That's an interesting one because visual support is very much maybe even the first thing people are seeing when they go with. I mean, when they see your brand everywhere. So visual parts, design, and everything. And I think it matters a lot if we are talking with social media about social media. I think one thing that we are doing, and they can help others, is we don't go with some pictures that are, I don't know, like stock photos or something like that, but we don't go with some that are, I don't know, that are not quality ones. So we kind of do the best of both worlds. And what do I mean by that? If we have a text that will go on a visual, we tend to keep the visual, the design that supports the text. So if we said like we are going to talk about I don't know, like the construction industry today. So we're gonna, and this is talk about construction in the industry is on the visual. So in the backwards, design is gonna be all about emphasizing the text. So something that shows the construction industry. Then when we look at the visuals, it can lead us towards that. And I think it's important to know those things and know those patterns and get there, not to get just any photo or something that we use just because it feels nice. It needs to have psychology behind it, and it needs to have like deeper meaning.
I think this is related to the next question. How do you align graphic design, messaging, and copy for each client?
Yeah, it's very much aligned because like we need to have like branding and brand guidelines before we start creating the visuals. So it comes not only to the colors, to the logo and everything, but also it relates to to the messaging. What's our tagline, what's our vision, mission, and how do we communicate? Like, what's the tone in the visuals? And it's not a separate part. The copy, the visuals, the messaging, the branding, it's all part of a bigger piece. And it's how others are seeing our companies and how we want them to see it.
Mhm.
So how do we tell our story?
We have that question in the chat. Which skills will be effective to learn in the future? I
Yeah,
guess mean regarding marketing industry in general.
how to communicate and how to understand people. That's it, basically. Tech can change, technology can change, but the ability to communicate and ability to understand psychology behind our actions, that won't go away ever. So everything's changing. People aren't changing, and if we learn how to use the patterns that we have, that's it. That's why I always like to say that to learn those things, you need to go back to some of the old school marketing and business books and old psychology books. So, and go and learn those patterns. I mean, those are the most important books that you need to read, not the one they are talking about how to do marketing today.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So soft skills.
Basically. Video. Is video becoming the most powerful graphic tool for social media? And what's the real impact on B2B platforms such as LinkedIn?
Yeah, I think definitely video is becoming one of the most powerful like types of content. Let's call it like that. Why? Because it gives you a lot. It gives you like visual presentation of something or of someone. It gives you the tone. It gives you like it explains a lot more than just a photo or just a text, and that's why video is kind of essential. And we are getting into the times where audio is really important. So in that way, we can get the audio out of the video, as we're gonna do with these specific episodes of the Funky Marketing Podcast. So in that way, I think yeah, and video is going in some ways that we couldn't even predict. Like just a few years ago, people didn't want to send like a short video as like sending to a client. Hey, how are you? I just wanted to remind you that we are having a meeting in 2 days, and this is what we're going to talk about. It was too much for the people. And imagine now we are spending days on Zoom. So something else needed to happen outside of business world that will affect the way we are changing. And the next thing will affect the way we embrace AI and those kind of things, because now we are getting into digital transformation because of COVID. And the next thing will affect the way we will embrace AI, robotics, and all those other things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's talk about graphic humor. What's your opinion on memes and GIFs, for example?
I love them, and I laugh at all the people that aren't using it and say like, for us, this is too much. We are not that kind of a brand, and you may be aren't, but like on social media, this is the way we communicate, and you need to adapt to those things. So using emojis or memes or gifs doesn't mean that you are funny as a brand, but you can like hide being too salesy with using gifs, or you can use memes to explain certain situation in a better way, so you can attract attention and really get into the point in your copy. But memes or gifs will get the attention, and I really like them. I think they are great also for creating a company brand or a personal brand. Like you can create your own gifs. Nike was doing that, and like everybody is using gifs, which are like Nike's gifs, and the brand awareness is going to the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And those kind of things are always good. And I mean, you know that we inside the team always encourage using gifs, and we are trying to change the way other companies are doing it by showing example on our Funky Marketing LinkedIn page.
Do you think you can use GIFs and memes freely in the B2B industry? In
Yeah,
any.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, think we need them more because we need to show the human side because it's like technology, it's software, it's coding. But if we include emojis, if we include feelings, if we include humanity, this will change the way we look at the brands, the way we interact with them. Because let's be honest. If a company brand comments on your post on LinkedIn, it feels a little bit weird, right?
Yeah.
But if they do it with a GIF, it kind of makes it like like
Sorry.
oh,
Yeah.
it's nice, or like good, that's cool, this brand
Mhm.
is cool, they are responding with gifts, they are actually friendly, they are responsive,
Sure.
and it matters a lot.
Mhm. Nice. Next batch. B2B. Why some B2B industries are so slow at entering into the digital era?
I mean, I think we covered that in the last question, because they don't need. When they feel the need and something happens outside of it that will stop them from doing what they are doing and getting the results, then they will move. So basically, that's it.
Cool. Do you think outsourcing marketing can fit well in a company that has never used marketing properly?
That's kind of an interesting topic. Yes, it can definitely fit well, but we work with a couple of companies that where we were the first marketing agency, and they were kind of um, they hesitated and were kind of scared because there are a lot of agencies, and a lot of companies had really bad experience with agencies because like the most of the agencies are doing just basic stuff, posting on social media and doing basic advertising, and not getting into psychology, not getting into strategy, not getting into analytics, all other stuff that are out there. Marketing is like the fourth utility, not even one agency can do it all. So based on that, they feel a little bit threatened, and what should they do? And then when they start talking with those agencies, like all of them have yearly contract in mind, and if you are just doing it for the first time, it's scary for the company to commit to a yearly contract with the agency, because they want to see it, they want to experience it, and then okay, if it works, we can continue working together. But if we commit to a year and after a month we see that it's not how the agency said it would be, so then they are like in between. And it kind of raised the expectations, and it's basically why we are going not from zero but from the deep minus when we are negotiating with companies. And that's why we are recording like these kind of videos, podcast. That's why we are talking about different things, recording videos, showing who we are, showing emotions, feelings, because we want to set up the trust before we get into those kind of conversation, before the discovery call ever happened, or like we want to be the one that companies are thinking about when they come to the point that they need marketing. So okay, the time has come for us to hire an agency or to hire somebody to help us with marketing. Who should we call? Aha, Linda. Nemanja, funky marketing.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works.
Definitely. Let's talk about demand generation. How do you explain demand generation to your clients in a simple way?
Yeah, those are always interesting questions. Cause like I usually don't, cause I explain it in my posts. We all as a team talk about it a lot, and they come to us when they know that they need it. So I don't need to explain to them on the call. But here's the way I explain what do we do and how do we work. So basically, when we start working with companies, all of them have content on the website. Usually it's a good content, but adjusted for the SEO, not for the people, not for distribution. So we jump in, and if they have the content, we use that content to kind of create the post. We use those posts to build the personal brand of the people from the team. So it's like C-suites or management or sales or marketing. Usually those are the people involved. And we help them build their brand. By building their brands, we build the company brand. And we do that by using the content that they have to kind of go over the pain points. So use the existing demand, but also polarize people to kind of get into create the new demand, and also get personalized. So we tied people to our stories. And on the other hand, on the company perspective, we use podcasts like this one to go in two directions. If the company isn't a company that maybe just starting, they need to build the authority. Then we bring people who have the authority to kind of help the host raise a little bit with them and become familiar in the industry. And then we call the people who are like our target group inside the companies we are going after. So basically, what we are doing, we are bringing them to talk about themselves for an hour. We ask them different questions like how do they hire different vendors, how do they fire them, is the decision making process going. We ask them about the whole like um, sales cycle, how everything is going, and basically by doing that, we get the content which we can post then on YouTube as long form content, create the branding on LinkedIn. We can distribute it over the podcast platform. We can then use it also to send it to the clients. So actually, the guests. In this way, send it to the guests so they can distribute it further. We create 3 to 5 smaller pieces out of it, where we target each step in the buyer's journey, and we send the materials to them so they can share it. But at the same time, we are actually adding people from their company with the personal brands involved in the strategy, so the visibility is bigger. And actually, this is how we start building the relationship. And by doing that, we are actually building the company brand by building the brands of our customers, future customers, or the clients. And so yeah, that's in a way. And if you want to go faster because the content needs time to start working, then we go and use advertising, Facebook and Instagram, news like articles, case studies, testimonials to get the people to consume. Usually, it's the decision makers and those that will use the product. Let's say the product is Canva, so we need social media people who will use Canva. We target them, so it goes from two sides, and we need them to see if the right people are reacting on a channel level, if the right people are actually consuming the articles, and if they are, then we know that they will come back and just like convert. But in any case, if you go even faster, then we can use retargeting, and we know which articles they were reading, so we can get them to the specific offers related to the industry, to the to the niche. And if you want to go now, then we use just PPC.
Nice. Good. Next question. How do you tell clients to focus on less but better qualified leads?
That's always an interesting question. Well, we explain how the things are going. If we start creating the marketing machine, then it means that they will get more qualified leads. And less leads in general, but more qualified leads. And why do we need more qualified leads? We need them because when somebody who is ready to buy comes to the website, they click the button, and only when they click the button and say I want to talk with sales, we get them to the sales. It means they are ready to buy. When this happens, people in sales can actually close the deal, and because they are talking with the companies, with people that are ready to buy their products, so they are not wasting their time. If they are not wasting their time, we don't need like 10 people in sales. We can use just 1 or 2 that are experienced and they know how to close the sale. This means also that we don't have unexperienced people. So every customer that has experience with somebody from sales will get the best possible customer experience, right? And if that is the question, if those people are ready, we can people from sales can actually get the bigger deals, and we can grow the revenue. But in a way, if this happens, like sales won't waste time on talking to the hundreds of leads, MQLs, and they can go and do the outbound. Like in that way, marketing can actually do marketing, and sales can actually do the sales. And in this way, marketing is actually helping sales. So that's how I see it.
As it should be. Okay. According to you, what are the three most important things to keep in mind before starting with demand generation?
Oh, there are a lot of things, but I would say it's the same before you start actually with advertising. You need to know what you want, and you need to know what your goal is, and you need to know what assets do you have to get there. Okay, so this is the most important things, and you need to know your target group. This is, I think, the most important thing. You need to know who your customers are, you need to know who your clients are, and you need to know everything about it, so you can get in their skin, like as we talked about, not only empathy but also compassion. And when you know that, then it's the right step to get somewhere. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Those three. Okay, I think we are done with questions for today. I'm sure if someone wants to ask anything else.
Yeah, let's wait a few minutes if we have questions. If not, like we'll do this next week again. And I want to invite all the people to go and find Funky Marketing Podcast on all the podcast streaming platforms, but also on YouTube. Go ahead and follow us. There has been like 20 guests so far, some of them really great and amazing individuals. And we'll keep mixing it up. Like the idea is to go into little Q&As, then to get other people who will be guests, and add a little structure to the podcast, not to just have like me interviewing the guests, but also something like this. And possibly one of the things that we will do is kind of an entertainment show where we will analyze like the weekly happening on LinkedIn, in the demand world, or anywhere else, whatever is interesting. And we're gonna do it also live on LinkedIn, and live it will go on all podcast platforms. So kind of that's the idea. If you have any idea or you have any feedback, feel free to send it to us. Yeah. So yeah, everything that we talked about here can be seen online on our social media channels, on our website. I would like you to go ahead and check it out and see if we are really doing the things that we are talking about. So challenge us in that way, and if we help you, feel free to share with others. And yeah, I think that's it for this week. What do you say, Linda?
Yeah, I think so far we are done, and we are back next week with more questions.
Yeah, so what do we say at the end? Keep it funky, guys.
Be funky.
Bye
Bye.
bye.